Are you in a situation where you can't rank up and you can't win any fights and you keep dying every single time? It looks like it's your downfall and you can't get back up. Well, that's probably why you came to this video. So in this video, I'm gonna do exactly that. I'm gonna be showing you the best ways to improve in Fortnite. And trust me, if you follow all these steps correctly, I guarantee you'll become a better Fortnite player and you'll probably be unwashed. So with that said, let's get into the video and let's show you guys how to improve. Now, one of the best ways to improve in Fortnite is actually starting off with a 1v1, because usually you're not gonna be very consistent on the days you're playing good and bad. So it's good for every time you get on, you first start off with 1v1 so you can see how you're playing good for the day, because sometimes you'll be playing bad and sometimes you'll be playing good. 1v1s also helps with aim, piece control, height advantages, box fights, and all that stuff. That's why 1v1s is really good. And every time you 1v1, it shows you what you need to improve, and it shows you what you need to work on for the day and just in Fortnite in general. And then practice those things as you play 1v1s. 1v1s is basically like the building block. Like if you're gonna make a whole entire building, you need to make the first foundational piece, and then once you make the rest of the building, all the other ones will be on the top, and then you'll make a full entire building. But you need a foundation first. That's why 1v1s is so important, because if you don't have the foundation of the building and you just have the top parts, then the building will literally just fall and crash. So that's why you need to start off with 1v1s just to see where you are for the day and just help you out for the foundation. The second map I usually recommend is Zone Wars, because Zone Wars is really good with just height advantages and trying to make sure you have good aim, because it's a big map and there's a bunch of people, and it's not like Battle Royale where it's all spread out. I mean, it is spread out, don't get me wrong, but it's in a little circle area. I actually do not recommend goated Zone Wars. I actually recommended Tilted instead, because Tilted has all the new weapons from the chapter. It also has the pomp, and it has a lot of stuff you can work on because every round is really fast. If you win the game, it's about like 2 to 3 minutes long, so it doesn't take a lot of your time like Battle Royale, and it's not as fast as 1v1s, but it's still very good. I recommend doing this after to start up your routine, because Zone Wars helps you with a lot of things. For instance, when you're going into someone's box and you're trying to get on height, you use your height advantage and you go in their box. That sounded very nerdy. But you know, that's just something that helps when you play Zone Wars. So this is why I recommend doing Zone Wars second, because Zone Wars helps with so many things, and it just helps you get a feel of how to play against other players, because 1v1s is just a 1v1, but Zone Wars is against other players. So there's going to be third parties and realistic things that are going to happen in real game. It'll help you with game sense and where to aim and where to peek and not peek. It helps you with a lot of things. That's why I recommend Zone Wars. And the last map I recommend is box fights. And yes, this is the last map of the warm-up routine, but if you want a full in-depth video of what a warm-up routine looks like and how my warm-up routine is like, then I made a video a few months ago of how to start your warm-up routine. But anyway, the last map I use is box fights, because it helps you with a lot of stuff, and it's like the cherry on top. Once you do 1v1s and Zone Wars, it really just helps you combine all of them together, and this is the last thing you need before you go into a real game. And that's basically all you really need for the warm-up part. Now let's get into the actual parts where you really need to improve. One thing that you really need to know when you're trying to improve in Fortnite is just when you're going into the game, you need to have a really good landing spot. If you don't have a good landing spot, then you're basically just gonna die off spawn and you have to re-queue. And if you're elite and above, you're probably gonna go down 6%, which is a lot, just from not getting weapons. So you need to have good chest spawns and you need to have a good drop spot. Luckily today I have 3 really good drop spots that I recommend you using for 3 different play styles. The first one is Grim Gate. I know Grim Gate is one of the most popular spots, probably because Peterbot and Pollo go there, but it's just so good because there's so much loot and every chest is basically rare or a regular chest. There's barrels everywhere, you get the splash effect on some of the splash barrels, and there's always ways to escape because you have the skulls. Then you get the mythic shoddy, and then there's a bunch of loot everywhere as you rotate out. But the problem with this map is this is for a person that's basically just trying to get a bunch of kills. So he's basically like the fragger on the team. This is for like a high kill gameplay on YouTube type drop spot, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, if you're that type of person, I have a really good drop spot for you. This is the one I currently use. I actually used it on the FNCS Community Cup. It actually got me and my duo a few points. As you can see from this clip, I rotate all the way to the chest on the bottom, right below this little area. And then it's a rare chest, so it gives you 2 weapons. And usually it's either purple or blue. And it almost guarantees a shotgun, but sometimes you might get unlucky and get an SMG. Then I rotate over to this little rock area where there's a chest. There's a free rock for mats, and then it just gives me extra heals. If I don't have extra heals, then I usually use the skulls and rotate all the way over to this barrel where I can get some shield, and then there's another chest there. And that's usually how I start my game at Grim Gate. And the second spot is Grand Glacier. And Grand Glacier is kind of the spot where you kind of just want to drop in and get weapons and just prepare for the end game. You don't really want to get much kills because you're afraid you're going to die early, and you just want to play it safe. So this is the best drop spot for you. Not much people go here, but it's very safe, and there's actually a lot of mats and weapons and loot. So I go to Grand Glacier. Right beside Grand Glacier, there's the the actual ice part of it, and right beside the ice part is this little water area. There's a plane with 2 chests on the bottom, and then there's 1 chest on the top. So that's 3 right there. There's usually minis and heals just laying around, and then there's this little house where you can go into, and there's 3 chests. 1 in the middle of the roof, 1 on the bottom floor, and another 1 on the bottom floor. Then I usually rotate all the way to these trees and get a bunch of loot, and that's basically how I start my game. And the last drop spot I recommend is Snooty Steps, because ever since Peter Griffin left the area, no one's really going there because there's no mythic. So it's kind of been left in the dust for this season, and that's why I recommend it, because it's actually really safe, and there's a bit of loot too. So I recommend this for comp and ranked. So now that I showed you the 3 best drop spots that I recommend, now I'm going to show you some ways that you can improve in Fortnite from a gameplay perspective. I'm going to show you what to do and not do. So a good thing to know is when to take someone's wall and how to exactly do it. So let me make a box here real quick and give you an example. So let's say this is the opponent's wall, right? It's full HP and you're about to pickaxe it. What you need to be doing when you're trying to take someone's wall is you need to pickaxe it and hold your build out, just in case they make a window. So just in case they do make a window like that, you can just hold out your ramp button and you can place it there and edit it and get a free pump shot. It works so many times. Like, there's so many ways you can do this too. You can also do it where they're in a box. They place this and then you can make a diagonal one like this, and then they'll be either here or here, and then you got a better peak for both sides. You don't even have to do a ramp every time. You can just place a cone and then shoot them right away too. That's the beauty of this, because it works usually every time. The best way to improve when you're trying to get in someone's box is to do some piece control. So let's say you try to place a cone by doing the little cone trick. You edit this and then try to place a cone in there. And then what I like to do is I like to jump, place this so he thinks I'm gonna shoot there, go to the side, double edit down, and pickaxe his wall. And usually what I do is he's probably gonna go down or to the left. So just in case he goes down, I go down and make a little cone on the bottom. Just in case he's there, I can shoot him, full box him. And then I like to edit the cone, reset it, and then make this little edit right here. It's very important when you're trying to go into someone's box. You want to make sure that you go in different directions so it confuses him a little bit, just in case he thinks you're going one way and then you actually go the other way. Another useful tip is to do high ground retakes, especially when you're trying to 1v1 someone or just in a regular game. One of my favorite high ground retakes is this. I would usually place 2 walls and then I would jump right here, place this wall and place 1 on top. So on fast speed it looks like this, where I literally just do this and then I place a wall right here. I would edit it and I would put a ramp behind me so I get protected, and then I could just do whatever from there. But what it looks like on fast speed is this, so I get actually an extra boost of height. I jump 2 ramps instead of 1. Jumping 1 ramp would be like this, which I do sometimes if I'm just trying to go from one way to another. Just do a simple 1 like tile like that. But the best way to get height is actually doing the little 2 tile thing I showed you, which is this, because you actually go 2 levels of height. Another way to get height is to place a 4 and a cone and then put 2 walls and do the same thing. It's the same principle and the same thing as the other thing, but you're just placing cones instead of walls. When I'm trying to do height, I don't usually do 90s like this because it takes too much time and you're just wasting your mats. So when I'm doing 90s, I want to be really fast. So I usually just do a floor and a ramp. So my 90s look like this, because usually if someone's over there, they're not going to shoot me if I have a ramp right here. So what's the point of putting a wall in front of me if that happens? Another thing I do when I'm getting height is I place a ramp, I sprint, and I do a 90 like this. And I'm only doing this certain 90 so I can wrap around with a 360. But what I do is I place 2 walls, or 3 walls actually, 1 here, here, and here. Place a cone, and then I jump to the side. So on fast speed it looks like this, and you want to sprint when you do this as well. This way I get protection on over here, and then I could just keep sprinting in this direction. That way, when I just protect that way, I can keep sprinting. It gives me extra sprint. It's mainly just for speed, so I can sprint instead of running normally, like with your character, because it helps out when you're just trying to get height, and sprinting is usually the best option when you're trying to do that. And the last thing I like to do when I'm trying to get height is I do a fake like I do a double edit, and then I jump to the side like a side jump. Side jumps really help with a lot of things. It helps with faking out your opponent, but it also helps with you trying to get in the right position and try to get a better angle, because if they're in front of you, sometimes you want to do a side jump and try to fake them out or get a better shot, because sometimes you can't always shoot when they're right there. And anyway guys, that is the last thing I can give you to improve for this video. If you want a part 2, then like the video, and if we get 70 likes, then I'll do another video. Anyway, thanks for watching guys. I'll see you guys next time.